Hi everyone, so today I was playing around with Carolyns ATC cards, there's 24 square one, rectangular ones, and there's some circular ones as well. So most of my focus is on making cards and things. So I've taken a look at these and I thought they were lovely card fronts. So let's see what I did. I have made, as part of the tutorials I was doing on boxes, a small box that when you open it up you can have a whole selection of tiny little Christmas cards that you can give to people or send as your Christmas cards. Those in there. If you've got 24 little cards that you can put the fronts on. This one's got a different fixing, so this one simply comes out and you've got another selection of cards in there. So all I did was prepared my ATC card front, and I've just folded a small piece of paper. I got 4 out of an A4 sheet, and that's made my little card. But it's primarily the little box that I'm looking at today. So I'll pop those there. The bits to make it are very simple. I've done you a diagram here. You can see I can get it out of a normal sheet of card, and the first bit is 8 inches by 4 3/4, and the next bit 6 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I've done this little strip here that will be the fixing to close it. Okay, there's lots of other different closures you can do, but I decided to keep it relatively simple. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side, and I actually did some of Carolyns paper and I printed it off double-sided. So we're going to take this long piece first, which is the wrap that will go around the box. So it goes across, down and up. Very simple. And we're going to score at 3 1/2 and 4 1/2. So I'll bring in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/2. That is the wrap done. So I'm just going to burnish that. Always make sure when you burnish that these sides are equal, otherwise it can skew off. So there is my wrap to start with. Okay, I'm going to bring in the next bit, which is 5 1/4 by 6 1/4, and we want to score that at 1 inch all the way round. On the side for the moment. Now what I'd like to do now before I start cutting is just do those, burnish those score lines down. There we go. Now I've put it on the diagram here because it's not easy to see on patterned paper, but we're going to cut up the score lines as far west where they cross. Cut up those, and to make a little bit of ease on the corners, we're just going to take a wedge out, but It always needs to be on the corner, not on this piece here. So I'm no measuring, I'm just taking a tiny little snip out of those corners. There we go. Right, so we're going to assemble the box piece that's going to hold your cards. So we bend these up, and I prefer wet glue. I know you have to wait for it to dry, but this is a really good strong fixing. I don't know what they're called in America, but I've got these little clips and I place them on, but I make sure that I'm going as close to the corner as possible, and I look on the outside of the box to make sure that I've got it level. So that's 3, and there's the last one. So always checking that they are lined up right, and that can just go aside to dry for a few minutes. Okay, so we have the wrap round, we have the box that will go inside. So now we're going to look at this piece, which is 3 inches by 3/4. Okay, and we're going to score that at 1 and 2. So we're going to go 1, 2. Now you can leave it as it is, but I'm going to take a little corner rounder and I'm just going to round off my corners. So now I've got my little closure. So I'm going to take double-sided tape this time. I'm putting a little bit of double-sided tape on there. Take that off. But I'm also going to add some wet glue around the outside. I want a real good strong fixing on it. So I'm going to open my wrap round, and this first crease I want to line up with the edge of my wrap. Let's take these off, and we're going to take the box, we're going to put glue all over the bottom, and we're going to place that inside up against the score line here. So I'm making sure I've got the same sort of gap at the top, the sides and the bottom, and I'm just going to leave that for the moment. There's no glue down here. Just going to leave that now to harden a moment. So we now have our box here. I've got a fastening here. Now let's look at the fastenings. On this one I have just put a magnet on here, and I've hidden a magnet underneath the topper here. So it's got a nice crisp clasp across. Right. This one is purely tucked underneath. So when we do the topper, we have to make sure that only the glue comes down part way. And there. So let's have a look at which one. I think I'm going to do Away in a Manger. So many lovely designs. So I have made 24 cards to go inside, and the box will take 6 comfortably, or even 8. So there we have that. I've got some scraps of card here, so I'm going to take that . They always work from the inside topper to the outside. It makes life very much easier. So I'm placing that on, and I'm leaving plenty of room around the outside, because I can then just go round with my scissors and do a border all the way round. I have macular degeneration, which means I don't see straight lines. So to put the centre down first, I can then quickly go round and get a nice finish. If I'd have cut this 1/4 of an inch bigger all the way round, I'd have really struggled to get this in place. So stick it down, cut yourself another border. Now I'm going to take a piece of black. So I'm going to add another border to it. Go that way. And again, cut round. So I didn't have to do any measuring, because the ATC cards are a lovely size to begin with. Yeah, so there's a black edge, and I'm going to come back in with another layer, and I'm going to do it with fancy scissors. These go together very, very quickly, and they're lovely to give as a gift or to use yourself. Yeah, so I'm going round with that. Always leave plenty of room when you're using fancy scissors, because you need this width of the scissor to hold on to the card. So small cuts and cut on past, turn round, and last one. Right, so I could add a magnet to this one, but not everybody has magnets, so I'm going to place that onto there, and this is going to slide underneath. So I want to just take my pencil, and I'm going to flip it over, make sure it's nicely positioned, and I'm just going to put a mark where I want to avoid any adhesive. So I'm going to put down there, and I'm going to put one extra down the middle. And you can use wet glue, but make sure you leave this space in the middle. Okay. So I'm now going to position that in the centre of the box, and I can then slide my little closure in between there. So there is my lovely box. Okay. Let's have a look. Take some of these out, and those just really sit nicely in there. Beautiful gift. If you don't want to do the cards, you could make a whole load of the boxes using the ATC card fronts, and put a little gift inside. Okay. So there is a lovely idea. One magnetic clasp, and this one a simple one that tucks underneath. So on this one I've printed out a backing paper and did it both sides, so I've got back and front. This one was just a piece of white card, and this one was a piece of cream card. Okay, so please do have a go. I have another idea that I will introduce next time, which actually changes the wrap into a sort of envelope style book. So we will have a look at that on the next tutorial. God bless you all.